There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
From your glade.
That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Man, oh man, we about to get dirty today.
You want? Are we starting?
Man, oh man,
Right.
you know, it's time to get all dirty on.
What is going on with you?
Is that your French-Canadian accent?
What I like is a woman that I cannot tell the difference between the top of her head and the bottom of her body because she's covered in so much dirt and so much pine cone dust and so much hair and so much filth. I like rolling around with her.
Well, no kidding. All right. Well, that's exciting.
This series of episodes, I think, does more harm to chest hair and back hair than any other series we will ever do. This is an episode because we have a lot of fans out there that like wood sex.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to start
Yeah.
the show as well. Do you want to start talking about wood sex?
I'm just saying this is a show that it begins with wood sex and it ends with wood sex, and in between is a bunch of amateur surgery. So if at any point you're really horny, I think that you need to check yourself.
Check yourself. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the last podcast on the left. I am Ben, hanging out with Henry, and of course, Marcus as well.
Hello.
Today we are really thrilled to bring you a subject that so many people, you know what they've been doing, Marcus?
Asking for
Clamoring.
it.
Asking and clamoring. They're sweating thinking about it. So today we're going to talk about Roch Thériault and the Anthill Kids.
It's about to. Don't say this funny and
Anthill
sweet,
Kids.
it's like the opposite of that. It's
And
not.
the Anthill Kids.
No, Roch Thériault and the Anthill Kids sounds like a French-Canadian, 60s garage rock band.
It really does. More synth.
But again, the amateur surgery really fucked with all of the rehearsals.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, let's get into this.
Roch Thériault was a French-Canadian cult leader active from the late 70s through the early 80s. His blend of pagan ritual, Old Testament theology, and mysticism eventually translated into a sadistic, all-consuming backyard fuck party with rock at the center.
Yeah, he was at the hot cheese fondue center of this backyard fuck party, and he loved every fucking minute of it. And the thing is, no one else did.
Well, when you say with rock at the center, are you talking a Sammy Hagar concert? Are we having a great time listening to solid tunes
You've been following
during
on
a
Insta?
fuck party? I have been following nonstop Old Rocker Instagram because they're the ones who actually know how to use it.
They really do. This is
Roch. Roch. This is his
Roch.
name is Roch.
Oh, his
Roch
name is
Thériault.
Roch.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Roch. Yeah,
Yes.
the rock.
So his parents were just walking around trying to figure out what to name him. They looked down on the ground and were like, Rock.
maybe, but I think that it might be short for Rochelle.
Oh, okay.
But this is a series that's going to get incredibly dark.
Yeah.
We're setting a little bit of the groundwork of where the hell Roch came from and who this dude is, which is we're going to discover is one of the, I would say, up close to one of the most sadistic cult leaders we've ever covered, because he's definitely a narcissist, and we're going to compare him to a bunch of different people, but there's something about the boutique cult, like about a 20-person cult that gets so fucking nasty that we're going to spend a couple episodes just wallowing in it. You'll
Well,
see.
Rock, maybe he's been tormented with that horrible name his entire life. You can see him at 13 years old. Mommy, Daddy, why'd you name me Rock? And they're like, lucky we didn't call you used condom or anything else that we saw on the ground that day. You fucking pebble.
He did have a terrible father.
He did. I'm sure he did.
Well, this cult, named the Anthill Kids because Rock City kept them busy as a bunch of ants,
Cute.
is quite possibly the most disturbing we've covered since Children of God. And in many ways, the Anthill Kids far surpasses it.
He also may have been my manager at Wendy's, this chick who would be like, if you're leaning, you can be cleaning. It's like, leave me alone.
Stop rhyming.
I think that marks the fourth time this year that you've brought up that manager at Wendy's.
I did not like how mean she was. And also, if you're leaning, it is because I am done with the cleaning.
But Roch Thériault does look alarmingly like a manager I had at Borders, who is, again, it's another...
The worst employee ever.
Swingers all have the same look. There's
Yeah.
just something about, because, again, we're doing this at Christmas time, and it's because he looks like he's a dirty fuckboy Santa.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And it's that vibe. It's, my manager used to have knee pads in his car, and he showed me, and he's like, you know what these are for? And he go, blah, 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 blah. And he would make a little lick noise. Roch Thériault, legitimately.
That's not even how you would do that.
He's like, my knees are bad, but I got to get down there for as long as possible sometimes.
So he's just getting face planted in all the crotches of women in the parking lots?
Just loved eating pussy. And Roch Thériault is like that. He is the equivalent of what Travis has shown us all through TikTok of the old man sitting with the camera just on his face in silence, just making cunnilingus stuff. It's not sexy.
I mean, if one woman finds it sexy, though, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Now, when it comes to cult leaders, the most violent we've covered here on the show was certainly Adolfo Constanzo. However, Constanzo was more of a serial killer than a cult leader, and aside from the murder of one member, his violence was largely inflicted on those outside his cult. Roch, by contrast, was a true cult leader uninterested in murder per se. He was highly violent, but Roch was first and foremost a narcissist whose cult evolved into a sadistic fantasy built to satisfy his darkest desires.
It's hard to build a sex cult. Like, even I'm talking
I've said
about
that. I say that every day.
A legit sex cult, because I think he's one of those guys who thought, once I get all these broads out there, we're going to get out there and this is going to be a fuck circle and everybody's just going to love it until we die.
It gets so much easier once you bring a bunch of women in there. Everything's just going to be so smooth.
But it's not just the women. There's no condoms. So you start having the babies, right? And you start producing children, and that's a fucking bummer. And then everyone's got to eat. And then everybody's got to follow your rules. And they're not following the rules. And so you're getting frustrated. And then you got to express to everybody, hey, it was always my dream to cut people open with a knife, but I can't do it legally. So now I'm going to have to do it out here next to this boulder.
Oh my goodness. We don't have enough time to orgy anymore.
Now, Roch Thériault was responsible for 4 horrific deaths, 2 of them literal babies, but those deaths came as a result of either Roch's arrogance or the torture he inflicted upon his followers after isolating them in the Canadian woods. In fact, killing was completely antithetical to Roch Thériault's motivations for starting and maintaining a cult. If a cult member was dead, then they could no longer serve Roch, which made the accidental death of a cult member a great tragedy from his point of view. Not because they were dead, not because it was a death, but because he had one less person to love him.
And unfortunately, he didn't really learn any lessons about what he was doing and the consequences of his actions. He is the true archetype. I got into a very deep YouTube hole of like people talking about narcissist, sadist personality types, and he is the exact picture of it, because not only does he get off on pain, so narcissists need their supply, right? They need to have people worshiping them, making them feel at the center of attention. So, but if you are a narcissist sadist, because a narcissist a lot of times will use sadism, which is the act of making pain for the sake and love of making pain and having people be in pain. That you are, and a lot of times it's akin to a sexual gratification. Like you like someone's moans of pain to you sound like pleasure. They would like that. They would just be like, are you some kind of goose? I'm not here to fuck a goose. I'm here to fuck a bound man. And so the narcissist, though, side of it will then sometimes commit sadism just to get the supply. Like, and they don't really want to. But the fact that it's paired, because you'll see there are statements that he makes is that in the statements that he makes straight up, it seems to be a tagline from the narcissistic sadist, which is, love is pain. Your love of me is equal to pain. So the more pain you feel, the more love for me you're expressing.
You just got that from Hellraiser.
This is before Hellraiser.
This is pre-Hellraiser, man. This is all pre-Hellraiser.
Was Clive Barker a part of this?
No, but he is Canadian, and honestly, I'm thinking he might have stole a lot from this.
Okay, so he doesn't want any of his, I'm going to call them constituents to die, much like an 1830s farmer didn't like their children to die, not because they like the kid, but they need the workers.
Their workforce.
They need the workforce.
Now, as far as his qualifications for cult leader went, Roch was somewhat different from some of the others we've covered. Instead of being tiny and malnourished like Manson, or tall and malnourished like Marshall Applewhite, Roch was big and burly, kind of a Hagrid type character.
He is very much like a dick out Hagrid.
Deleted scene from Harry Potter right there.
But again, if you're being, this is the other thing too, we'll talk about this. People kept, of all of the cult leaders that we've covered, more of his former members called him sexy than any other cult that I seem to remember. That he is, women in this group, in the very beginning, women loved Roch.
Bro, I've been watching a lot of old wrestling videos on WWE Network from the 80s. Those big, burly, hairy men, our women salivate over them.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
I want to get the Alex Jones body with my hair.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, all covered
There's
with
something
oil.
about it. Ladies went crazy for these guys. Stan Hansen. They used to love this guy.
If I was a wrestler, my name would be the Anvil.
Well, there was.
I'd be a leather daddy character.
That's Bret Hart's cousin. That's Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You already taken. Sorry, buddy.
Damn it.
Roch Thériault was a large, muscular man with piercing blue eyes, a big bushy beard, and an impish grin. And apparently this guy was very attractive by backwoods French-Canadian standards. As far as charisma goes, he was a born entertainer with a natural flair for performance who could command a room with an off-color joke or a tall tale. Women found him romantic and charming, while men were drawn in by his confidence and lack of inhibition. In other words, he was fun at parties.
He was a funny guy. That's the other thing people keep saying about Roch, was that he was very funny. But I haven't seen any of his material. So I don't know if he's necessarily funny. He does seem to be kind of like the guy who's super funny at your office that thinks that comedians just make up shit like off the top of their head 24/7.
I could do that.
He is that type of funny where, we'll see. He uses a lot of props.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a situationalist comedian.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, we would be remiss not to mention the hit sitcom from the 90s, Rock, which was also pretty funny.
Same build.
Same build as that man.
But as it usually goes with people like this, Roch also had an insatiable hunger for acceptance and approval.
Shut up, Marcus. Shut up.
Yeah, at what point did you realize you were just researching yourself?
I mean, I wish I had his same piercing blue eyes, but I'm glad I'm just a comedian.
Oh.
But being wildly insecure gave Roch another key skill needed for a cult leader of his stripe. Supernaturally convincing in a way that bordered on hypnotic, Roch had a sixth sense for detecting insecurity in others. It was said that if he found an insecure soul at just the right moment, he could make them believe anything, using a confidence that people who were a little more with it read as supremely arrogant.
That is one of the ironic things of the sadist personality disorder, is that which is taken out of the DSM. It's not there anymore, but one of the main attributes of it. The reason why they took it out is because they didn't necessarily want people to say it was a diagnosable disease, so that when people did sadistic acts, they would kind of say, "Well, I'm a clinical sadist, so it's kind of a thing that I do." But it fits into this world of they're actually ultra empathetic. Like, they are a type of person that is incredibly good at reading people's feelings. But instead of being an obnoxious empath, which is just a sadist with crystals, they look at you and they can see everything that you like and dislike about yourself, and they know how to just stick a finger right in it.
Oh, get out of there, please.
And make you wiggle.
No kid. Well, people always say, it must be so cool to have a sixth sense. But do you have any idea how annoying that is, seeing all these dead women outside your car door all the time? Was there an accident? I guess I'll get another dead woman outside my car door. Did a child die in this one? Thanks so much, sixth sense.
I actually really like the idea of you as a beleaguered psychic.
Another one's dead now.
Just you sitting there, because also, just if Kissel does seem low energy, it's because he described how he came in. He's like, I have a little bit bit of a tummy ache. And I was like, oh, God, COVID. And then he's like, no, I just ate a large stuffed crust
Shut up.
pizza.
I got hooked in by one of their
Pizza Hut last
I
night.
got hooked in by a Pizza Hut commercial because it was reminiscing about the power of Christmas.
I could just see you.
Shut up. That's off. And that is off mic conversation. Yes, I have a tummy ache right now because I ate too much pizza. Sure.
But you sound like Michael Jordan in that game after he ate the rigged pizza in Utah.
That's exactly. And I'm playing just like he did that.
But you just imagine you surrounded by all these dead people just folding pizza into your mouth, just being like, well, you can't eat, because luckily none of you have any mouths at work, because then I don't have to share any of this delicious, look, you eat it backwards.
Oh, you can't eat it backwards, yeah.
Well, concerning Roch's arrogance, even though he dropped out of the 8th grade, he thought of himself as a self-taught intellectual, a Renaissance man who could conquer anything from politics to surgery.
Yeah.
A bit of a surgery hobbyist, you'd call him.
I never want to hear the term amateur surgery.
Definitely not. No.
Like, this isn't like fun. There shouldn't be a surgery open mic.
Well, it would literally be like if Neil Young stopped playing with model trains and then you're like, and welcome aboard Neil Young Express. He has no idea how to actually drive a train.
I know how to drive a train. It just sits on a road. It doesn't leave or anything. You just pull the lever, go choo choo, choo choo.
You sing the hits.
Now, Roch Thériault came to power in the late 70s. This was a time of gurus, when people were, for one reason or another, looking for spiritual guidance from bearded men running filthy, miserable communes in the backwoods of North America. In fact, Roch Thériault could most closely be compared to another man from the same era who was 1,000 times more successful, although the other guy was certainly more cosmopolitan. That man was Dave Berg, founder of the infamous Children of God cult.
Dad was a sexy guy.
No, he was not. Ooh, I still have nightmares from that series.
Well, this is very similar to that.
Great.
And
Yeah.
I'd
Great.
say that the difference is, again, Children of God became a franchise cult. Now so we're starting to see the differences, right? Where Scientology and all these other that are a little bit more business-minded. Their jobs are to, like, the cult leader becomes more like deformed CEO where him, like, obviously his David Berg's peccadillos were the things that ended up like destroying everything.
Well,
but they were actually really concentrated on the cult getting bigger. Like, they wanted, as they were really, really into the evangelism and getting more people involved and making money off the people that were involved. Where somebody like Roch Thériault, he keeps it small, he keeps it local. Because the idea is that he just wants his own. This is really all about him. Yeah. Nobody else matters in any way, shape, or form. He is building a custom-made group of humans that he believes are just his fuck toys.
So he's
going to
the
use
Whole
for forever.
Foods. He's the Whole Foods of cult
Whole
leaders.
Foods is massive now.
Now it is.
It's
now
massive
it
now.
is.
No.
Back in the day.
He is of cult leaders. He's the Audubon of cult leaders.
Oh, great bar there in Baltimore. Check it out.
Well, both Roch Thériault and Dave Berg were drunks. They both encouraged familial orgies. They both split up families as a method of control. Both were polygamists. Both used the Book of Revelation as a foundation for their belief system. And both were funny. Or at least tried to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit funny if you're trying to get a whole family to fuck each other. You got to get in there somehow.
But the main difference between Dave and Roch was the difference between a successful cult like Children of God, which, by the way, still fucking exists as the Family International, and a filthy failure like Thériault's group. Berg used violence sparingly, mostly as a method to control rebellious teenagers.
And it was like institutionalized violence. You know what I mean? It was a part of their system. They had like the little schools, and the violence came, it was very compartmentalized so that Daddy was kind of separate from the violence, so that Daddy could be.
Can you stop saying daddy, please?
What else am I going to call him?
Remember, it's dad. Yeah, it's not daddy, it's just dad. Which, for some reason, just calling him dad is so much more disturbing.
Bad.
I hate dad.
Because you know one thing about just saying dad is that you could just imagine the curve on his knee from people sitting on it. But he's the type of guy that didn't want to be associated with the punishment arm of the Colts. He wanted to be good time. Like, I'll go down on you and I'll lick your asshole, and I don't care if you're my cousin or my daughter. But I'm not going to spank you.
Isolate that footage. Isolate that sound right now. Put that on a billboard.
Well, Dave Berg's methods of torture were relatively light. Like, remember, he had the smile machine. Like, the smile machine was something that they put on unruly teenagers that was a series of elastic bands and hooks that hooked to the ears and the corners of the mouth that physically forced a smile. Which is, as far as tortures go, it's not that bad.
It's called being an entertainer during a pandemic.
Yeah.
But with Roch Thériault, the violence was the point, used both as a control and as a part of the cult's internal logic. Roch told his followers that he was ridding them of demons and that those who didn't suffer in life wouldn't be allowed to enter heaven. To give a short and vastly incomplete history of Roch's violence with his cult members, he broke fingers and toes one by one. He burnt his followers with acetylene torches until their flesh bubbled. He cut them with broken glass, and in one case, pulled 11 teeth from a follower's head with dirty pliers.
And again, don't worry, we haven't spoiled the good stuff for you guys in that little list. There really is, that is just the kind of stuff that was more of his day-to-day. We are going to see in the next 2 episodes that he does some of the worst shit I've heard a person do in quite a long time. He does a lot of fucked up shit.
We just talked about a guy with an nganga.
Yeah,
that was full of human spirits.
Yeah. But that guy, you know what's weird about the Nganga and Adolfo Constanzo was it was kind of like a part of his work. Like, he was also a serial killer. So like, so all this kind of stuff. It was strange. It was very much about like his own peccadillos. Where this is something else. The idea of wanting them to live. Is specific. Is that because they're supposed to learn lessons from the things that he's doing to them.
Well, with Adolfo Constanzo, it's all over in about an hour. You know, as much as even with all of the awful shit that he did to his victims, like it was over and done within about an hour. With Roch Thériault, we're talking years, and in some cases, up to a decade of abuse. If I were to compare Roch Thériault to another person in true crime, it would be David Parker Ray.
The Toy Box Killer.
Yeah, because he got that much endowment out of it.
I also think I think killer is a misnomer. I'm not sure if David Parker Ray ever actually killed anybody, because David Parker Ray's whole thing was ruining lives. He wanted to ruin a life forever, and if he killed someone, that was over.
All I know is he did a great job making the theme for Ghostbusters, and so I will always say David Parker Ray.
No, that was his son.
Oh, that was his son. Okay.
But in the end, with Roch Thériault, his followers thanked him each and every time, often writing him fawning letters of apology and awe after each violent encounter. As the violence grew, so too did the admiration, and this blind loyalty ended, as it usually does, in the death of some of his followers. But perhaps Roch Thériault's most evil technique, which makes him somewhat unique in cult leaders, was his utilization of the cult members' children, some of whom were his own. He used them as a choke point to gain and keep obedience among his followers, and it ended in death for some of them.
Him and old Sleepy Herf from Heaven's Gate both truly disliked children. He did not like children. He thought that they were a liability. Again, it's just so not super sexy to have all these kids around when I'm trying to gush inside of all these women without condoms. And then you wonder why, he doesn't really get the memo that in the end you got to do is pull out, shoot it into a bucket.
Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose if you got a little spittoon around there.
We're not talking 1 or 2 kids. We're talking 24 children.
Oh, my
God.
God.
He produced over the time in his cult.
It's like I hate black licorice, but what if I just kept making black licorice and just leaving it all over the house? You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
But before we get into the full tale of Roch Thériault, let's acknowledge our source today. On this one, we've got Savage Messiah by Paul Kalla and Ross Laver, which is a solid, if sometimes overly judgmental, true crime book with fascinating details.
I will say I watched a horrible documentary that did nothing. That it was one of the worst names for a documentary series that I've ever seen. It was called Very Bad Men. And you're like, ooh, yeah, he's very bad. And you're like, no, yeah, this isn't Bruce Willis from Moonlighting. Or I mean, this is fucking. He's a very. He actually, you know what? I'm saying I take it back. He is a very bad man. I just wish that they put more details into it.
Well, and that's just a great reference there for anyone who is older than us. Moonlighting.
Yeah,
what a
Moonlighting,
show it
that's
was.
before
that was
our time.
Before we were
Oh,
born.
no, I watched Moonlighting. Even I got the sexual tension as a boy.
I don't know.
Now, Roch Thériault was born in Quebec in 1947 to devout Catholics Hyacinthe and Pierre Thériault. And of course, it's French-Canadian. I'm going to fuck up a lot of French names. Just bear with me.
Yeah. The French stuff is hard. Also, similar to Order of the Solar Temple, a lot of the original documents are in French. So there's actually not. I actually thought that this cult would be way more covered in English, and it's not. There's certain sections that I'm going to get into as we go, and I'm also on the lookout for Roch Thériault's fucking memoirs. If anybody has an English translation, I want one. Thériault. God damn it!
All right.
Roch was one of 8 children, and when he was 6, the family moved to a small asbestos mining community called Thetford Mines.
They were mining asbestos, huh?
Yeah,
So you want to keep that where it is.
It's called. we like to call that Spicy Cloud Junction.
Yeah, that was in a district in Quebec that was known for asbestos mining, and Thetford Mines was one of the most successful asbestos mines in the entire province.
Well, that's great. Killed my grandfather at 66. Asbestos. Got cancer. Between that and my grandmother, he did not have a good chance to live long.
Was that the grandmother whose pants kept falling down?
Yeah. And she kept on falling. Even when sitting, her pants would fall down.
Did he get that poisoning from Buchenwald?
I don't know what happened, but I do know my grandmother apologized on his deathbed. So isn't that nice? She apologized to him as he was dying. So that worked out great.
The Thériaults were described by neighbors simply as backwoods people. And while Roch's mother sounded like a fairly normal human being, his father was a religious zealot.
But then does that make her a normal human being? If you are already, if you marry, I feel like what happens? Like how do you marry a religious zealot if you're just a Jennifer Aniston?
I feel like it's so much cuter if it's the mom that's super crazy into Catholicism, but the
It is
dad is
cuter.
like, well, you know, Wendy's just a little bit nuts. But like if the dad,
Then it becomes sinister.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
it becomes really scary.
Double standard.
It is kind of a double standard.
No, well, I think because the father often gets violent with the scariness.
That's it. That was the reason.
Mommies get violent.
Yes, they do.
Mommies do get violent, but daddies are more likely to be the violent ones.
I remember when I was really harassing my mom one time, and it was harass, and then she hit me in the head with the phone. But then she came in, and then she cried for like an hour, being like, I never. So I feel like there was other things going on besides just me like being annoying while she was on the phone.
See, that is a psychological mind fuck.
Oh yeah, when you get hit
When
and
you
then
get
they
hit
cry.
and they cry, then you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You want to hit me again?
Well, Hyacinthe was a member of an authoritarian fascist group of Catholics called the White Berets, so named for their distinctive headgear. Rebranded today as the Pilgrims of St. Michael, the White Berets were an offshoot of a more conspiratorial movement. Originally, it was a pretty standard New World Order, the Jews run everything mishmash. But by the time Hyacinthe joined, the White Berets' main goal was to destroy the secular world and hand control of all institutions over to the Catholic Church.
No, a bit of a slippery slope there. I looked them up. I'm getting to learn a little bit more because not that I've been vaguely, even remotely political, but I've been reading more and more about the idea, like, you know, political concepts. And there's stuff like that you find out that I guess the term is dog whistle to fascists that I didn't know. Like, if you look up the term social credit, there's michaeljournal.org, which is the last of the vestiges of this group, which is, it just says Michael for the triumph of the immaculate, which seems really funny for a bunch of people that just, I mean, there's a lot of pictures of weird goblin-like people with large noses on this website to be that immaculate.
Interesting.
But social credit is one of those things that, like, it says, oh, we got to give things back to the workers, you know, we got to do all this stuff. But then you find out, was like, whenever they picture a banker, it's like one of those goblins from Harry Potter.
No kidding. Not good. Social credit system. Not very fun.
And so, every Sunday, Hyacinth forced his children to go door to door in their small community with a collection box to gather cash for the White Beret cause. He'd knock on the doors of strangers, and as soon as they'd open their door, they'd be met with a litter of tiny Quebecois children falling to their knees and shouting prayers as Hyacinth made his Pope above all pitch.
Wow.
You got to give them something.
I mean, just to get him out of there. Just be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was a shakedown. It was a full shakedown. It was just like jiggling the coins in the box like, hey, we'll get out of here if you just give us a couple of dollars.
It's the religious equivalent of when the guy used to come on the train, the L train, that used to play the saxophone horribly.
He
and he
was
had that sign that
that
says,
guy.
play me to stop. Pay
Love
me to
that
stop.
guy. That is still to this day my favorite subway performer.
Well, he would step on this train. He would say, I'm from outer space, and I'm here to rock you.
Yeah.
And then he was awesome.
It was rough, but I always paid him.
You have to.
Also, what is it about hats?
What do you mean?
What is it about making a group wear a specific hat that makes everybody bad?
You can't hide the hat.
But I don't understand. What is it about hats?
I guess the Shriners are okay. They've all got the fezzes. They're not too sinister.
I don't know. They still do that weird ceremony where they all pretend to blow each other, and then they go down the weird razor slide, and then they do weird, and then it's a lot of tricycles. There's a lot of old men on tricycles.
No, I don't think so. The
No, they got
Shriners,
the
they're
little
helping
cars.
Yeah, and they're helping the kids with the cancer. And their hats are fun. They can be used as a soup bowl
Yeah,
if you're on the road.
But do they think playing with the kid's butthole is helping them distract from cancer?
Well,
That's a controversial statement.
well, because you just said the word distract, which would it distract? Yeah. But is that good? No.
I don't know. Maybe they think it's, the ends means the means, or ends
No.
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 Well, as far as Roch went, he hated participating in these White Beret donation drives, and he considered these weekly marches with his father and siblings as humiliations of the highest order. It instilled a deep resentment for the Catholic Church, which would never go away. From what it seems like, though, this made Roch the odd man out in the family. From what Hyacinth later said in the late 80s, shouting at reporters through his closed door, he raised 7 children and only 1 turned out like Roch.
He's not wrong.
That's not bad. Pretty good odds, actually.
But if there was 2 Rochs, then he would have to be put in the Hague. You know what I mean?
Well, that's not
it's
good.
like he just kind of barely made the mark of being a fine father.
But from a young age, Roch was taught pain. As children, he and his siblings would play a game with their father called Bone. In this game, Hyacinth and the kids would sit around the dinner table, kicking each other in the shins with big boots as hard as they could until one of them finally said, "Stop, enough."
I think they did that at the Kennedy's house, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we used to do that as kids. You kind of punch your friends in the shoulder and stuff. This isn't that bad.
Yeah, but you don't play that game with your dad, though.
No, my dad was home at night.
Don't do this.
He's a truck driver.
Marcus, no. Marcus, why did you do this?
We could have
No.
played Bone.
Oh, my God, his tears are so big and they smell like marinara.
Now, Roch claimed that his father severely beat him throughout his childhood, but as we know, cult leaders, for the most part, are even more untrustworthy than serial killers when it comes to stories about their past. Never believe a cult leader.
You say untrustworthy. I say they are weavers of tales. They are storytellers. Their whole point is to make the legend bigger than it ever was. They got to make the legend shoot out into the universe. Look at L. Ron Hubbard. He understood you have to lie so deeply that you lie within your personal journals. Roch Thériault was like that. He created a memoir. He wrote this 100-page memoir at some point during the cult rise. I believe it was when he went to jail that changed his whole life story. And because you got to make yourself a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Roch claimed that his father would push him down the stairs of their home and lock him in the cellar. And one of Roch's wives claimed that Roch had been beaten so severely as a child that surgeons found scarring on his internal organs. But as far as we know, none of this was ever confirmed. In fact, everyone who knew the Thériaults said that while the whole White Beret thing was a little odd and overbearing, none of the 8 kids showed any signs of abuse, and all of them except Roch seemed healthy and happy.
He was a born narcissist.
Yeah.
The anger towards his father comes from being embarrassed more than anything else. It comes from having to put the hat on and do all of these things and prostrate himself and be super vulnerable against his will, which you're going to find out, he is not a person. He's the kind of guy that would get really mad if he fell over and you laughed. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be really fucking pissed off because he's like a cat where he doesn't want you to see when the cat falls off the thing and then he gets super embarrassed. Not like a dog that's like just takes anything.
Doesn't really care. Interesting. But you would have to empathize a little bit with his tale because every neighbor knew that was the weird family.
Of course.
Like, everyone had to be like, yeah, it would suck to be those kids.
Yeah, but
because
my father,
they go door to door begging for change.
My father embarrassed me so implicitly, it made me have no sense of shame that actually helped me be a performer, allowed me to perform nude, and highly embarrass myself in many circumstances because I became immune to embarrassment.
Well, you got to make those cops laugh at the bar, and that is usually involves you getting naked, doing something stupid, and then they can say, better than that guy.
However, there are some psychiatrists, particularly those in the new documentary Crazy Not Insane, who argue that people it's a great documentary. It's really good.
It's called Crazy.
It's called Crazy Not Insane. Yeah.
Oh, Not Insane. I thought you said Crazy Nut Insane. And I was like, what is that porno? Okay.
No, it's very good. But the psychiatrists in that movie, they argue that people at Roch Thériault's level of violence can't exist without extreme childhood trauma. They believe that nobody is born evil and that when we don't have evidence of childhood abuse in people as violent as Roch, we simply don't have all the facts. Now, I'm not sure if I believe that completely, but I am open to the possibility. So maybe there is something to Roch's claims of extreme violence at his father's hands. Who knows? Because it is hard to think that the level of violence that Roch Thériault achieved later on in life, it's hard to believe that comes from nowhere. It's hard to believe that's just an inborn thing.
Well, the problem is that we don't have, his memoirs are a series of lies, and everything he ever said to anyone about his past was a series of lies. And I wonder if there was a way to look into it. There's no way to know anybody's inherent truth. You could never know objective truth. It does not exist. It's all in your mind. You have no clue what really happened to him as a boy. But I also think that maybe it's not that the violence was done to him, but he might have had sexual fantasies as a young boy that involved really intense violence. And that it might have started, because look at Jeffrey Dahmer, where it started with the sleeping dude. It started like this kind of building of you create your inner fantasy world. So it seems like by the time he got to his cult, kind of like Leonard Lake, same thing. The fantasies, he saw this opportunity to make all of his fantasies come real and allow himself to do it. And because he had something like, he had low impulse control, to put it mildly, that he could then do it and cross the border from fantasy to reality.
Now, Roch was a shitty kid, prone to stealing money and cigarettes from his parents while blaming his siblings, took responsibility for nothing, and learned at an early age how to manipulate others to get what he wanted without having to work for it. But to hear him tell it, Roch's childhood was the stuff of legend. As Henry said, he wrote a 173-page long memoir that was rife with all sorts of bullshit about his upbringing. In one story that sounds like a bastardization of Greek mythology, Roch wrote that he was walking in the forest one day when he came face to face with a mother bear and her 2 cubs.
Why do I imagine him as a little boy, but looking exactly as he did as an adult? Like he's a child, but he's got the big bushy beard and he's got the fucking dome fucking skull, and he just sees this bear struggling. Just
oh, poor bear.
But instead of attacking him, the mother bear instinctively took him in as one of her own, rolling over Roch in the same playful way she rolled her other cubs. And according to Roch's story, he spent the entire afternoon living as a bear.
That's cute as fuck.
I know.
Going in there, sucking on mommy's nipples. You're underneath there. You're with all the other little bears all day. You got a full-grown beard. You're 7 years old. You're half bear as it is.
Half bear as it is. This is just a Christopher Robin's tale. This is kind of nice.
I also had back hair when I was 10, and I also kind of felt like, wouldn't it be nice to live as the bears?
How'd you get on what did you do, alligator run? Were you able to do that? Remember Alligator Run? You get the slip and slide all
No, never. I dropped like a fucking stone. You'd whip the whole thing. You know how many times we tried to have it? I remember there was one kid in our Queens neighborhood.
Couldn't do Alligator Run?
No, dude, he put it out. He put the slip and slide out. Whatever version of the slip and slide. And I remember running up and then
No movement.
Just
It is for movement.
Nope. Not to my body. I am friction.
That's amazing.
Mixed in with that mythology was a false frailty that Roch used to elicit sympathy. He claimed to have infantile paralysis until the age of 6, claimed to have been unable to speak until the age of 8, and he claimed that he could hardly walk until he was 12.
He needed to be the center of attention. So this is a very easy way to do it, is talking about being, like, to victimize yourself to people.
He also claimed, as most cult leaders of this type do, to have been gifted with wonderful and mysterious powers. When a young boy in town broke his teeth, Roch said that he healed him. Soon, Roch was healing broken limbs in both people and animals, and he claimed to be able to bloodlessly castrate cattle and pigs with ease.
Yay, every child's fantasy.
Yeah, I remember. Have you ever played My Little Castrator?
I never did that one.
I
No.
love that as a kid.
Yeah.
But
No, I definitely remember being highly disturbed about like these big mason jars full of bull testicles for when, all of my family would do the castrating on all the cattle. That was a fucking really disturbing sight.
That's how they knew you weren't going to be a rancher.
Yeah.
And he looked at you.
He can't handle looking at the balls in the jars.
That's why every Christmas you received one big book, like in a Dickens novel, whereas you just sit and just read one book a year.
I was fascinated, but not definitely not in a hurry to join in.
But he will eventually find out that castrations are actually not that bloodless.
No,
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, because he really goes for it.
You gotta be careful.
Couple of times. Now, of course, none of these claims were true, but there was one almost mythological claim made by Roch that was indeed confirmed, and it likely gave him some of the confidence and swagger he later used as a cult leader. By all accounts, Roch Thériault had a disturbingly large penis.
Wow.
I thought you were gonna say he liked to use Old Spice shampoo and conditioner and body wash.
It burns.
I know.
This, he wrote in his memoirs, the disturbingly large penis, was one of the things that he took as a sign that he was different, and not, as he put it, your average Joe.
Well, maybe that's why he didn't like going begging for change. Every time he would kneel down, he would kneel on his cock.
Just fucking scrape on the floor.
Oh, ouch.
And this is, again, why I'm very happy with my father's medium. My father's medium allows me to
Your
live my life as
medium penis?
Yes, I call it. That's
You
the
call
size.
it his medium?
It's a father's medium.
Are
is
you
what I
me
call my
ordering
penis
Pizza
size.
Hut yesterday?
And I'm happy with it because I don't need to shoot, beyond my scope. You know what I mean? I don't need to worry about all the burden of having a disturbingly large penis.
No, it just makes it when you take your pants down, they can be happy.
No. They have to be happy before.
I know.
That's my goal. The goal is that at dinner you were happy.
You got to prep them.
But that's why you got to coast it to dinner, and then you make it quick. You get it. You reveal very quickly.
Yes.
And I'm not parading it around.
Right. Well, all right.
Regardless of penis size, though, Roch, arrogant from even a young age, figured by the age of 14 that he was too smart for school. Despite being among the brightest students in his class, he dropped out to shovel snow, mow lawns, and hang out at bars.
I know several guys that were like that in high school that were like really good at school, and then they dropped out to do manual labor and then act like that was like the coolest thing in the world, and then they just kept doing manual labor.
Right.
Yeah. It sounded like
just
it was
keep
really
doing it.
Yeah,
Well,
it sounded
thank
like it was
God.
really hard. And it sounds like as you get older, it gets like really hard.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a contractor, you know what I mean? If you don't run a construction company by the time you're 40, it's hard to be a construction worker.
It really is. It's the Lord's work.
Now, Roch was always described as a ladies' man, although we also have to remember that the pool Roch was fishing from was an asbestos mining town of 18,000 called Thetford Mines.
Technically, that makes it more difficult to get a woman, so I think he's playing in the big leagues.
I don't know, because, you just get them until they get filled with cancer, and then there's a high turnaround rate.
Yeah, it has to be.
As such, Roch had no problem finding a wife on charisma alone.
It's about being funny, man.
Yeah, it is. And in 1967, he met a woman named Francine Grenier at a dance hall and married her soon after. He built a house less than a quarter mile from his parents in the woods, and the newlyweds had 2 children in quick succession, while Roch got a job at the fire department performing inspections, despite his lack of a high school diploma.
It's all about being funny again. If you're the funny guy in the team, you know how many jobs I got for no reason? I was fired or had to leave because I obviously wasn't qualified for it. But they like you in the interview. That's how you slide in there.
I mean, to be honest, his big cock probably helped him with the boys in the old fire department there. I think having a big dick...
Do you think the big cock came out during the interview?
It could not have hurt.
Well, especially if you go like, if you can do the trick where you go, hey guys, wait a second. I got to see if there's something on this surface. Periscope up. If you can make it just go up,
that's fun.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
No touching?
Absolutely.
But it was around this time that Roch changed from just sort of a shitty, arrogant person into something else entirely. In 1971, he began suffering from duodenal ulcers, and the doctors removed part of his stomach to alleviate the symptoms. When a second operation was needed, Roch spent the summer studying medical textbooks, and by the time he went under the knife again, he could recite the steps to the entire procedure, which couldn't be a more perfect example of Canadian backseat driving.
You see what you want to do there,
what you want to do there.
You're going to want to do there is you're going to spread open my belly button. That's how you get it. That gets faster.
Hey, sorry.
Can you imagine just how fucking annoying that would be? As if you're about to go into surgery and you gotta be like, I see what you're doing there, but actually you're gonna want to get a bigger knife. You gotta know if you can tell by the size of my dick. You're gonna want to get something that really cuts through something like a bandsaw or something.
Heckled? I've never gotten heckled by a patient before.
After that second operation, though, Roch began vomiting and experiencing stomach cramps. And when he went back to the doctor, he was told that he was suffering from a condition called Dümping syndrome.
Yeah, dog. And it would have been his new metal band, but you have to put umlauts in it.
Dumping system.
And Dümping syndrome.
Yeah, that's his
Shit, man, I just can't fucking... I know, like, in 1999, I would have gone and seen Coal Chamber, Mudvayne, and Dümping syndrome.
Absolutely. And there would have been a guy, just Roch Thériault, but with a fucking lip ring.
I love it.
In Dümping syndrome, the severing of gastric nerves prevents the stomach from contracting during digestion, which is a key component to the whole operation. Instead, the contents of the stomach remain solid. The mass then moves rapidly from stomach to intestines, causing extreme pain and preventing the body from extracting nutrients.
Let me show you the first miracle I will perform for you.
Uh-oh.
You see this hot dog?
Yeah.
Watch as I fold it inside of my mouth.
Okay, that is really great.
You can feel every one of the pieces of relish.
Oh, you're taking... Okay, that's
perfectly solid hot dog on the other end.
Wow, well, that's
Witness!
human.
Witness God's tunnel! I am the tunnel of God!
Shit.
This is
shit.
The hot dog comes next. I think the hot dog, it pushed a bunch of shit that was at the front.
Yeah, well, let's see that.
Well, as it happens with some people, both the stress of the surgery and the pain that came afterward changed Roch Thériault. He'd always been a notorious crybaby, complaining endlessly about everything. But after the surgery, he also became a hypochondriac, telling everyone that his insides were now made of plastic and that cancer was coming any day now.
What are you, like fucking Uncle Kevin?
He lives in asbestos.
Yes, I mean, like, honestly.
So he's just like...
You are covered. The entire town is covered in asbestos soot. Do you really think you need this to actually... Like, you're all already dying. You're all just walking tumors.
Yeah, it's very bad. Very bad for you.
In addition to just being more annoying, Roch also became more reckless and self-centered, quitting a solid job at the fire department to sell self-made kitschy beer mugs at swap meets and bars.
Okay. I'm my own man. Can you say I'm like a crate and barrel, except I'll fuck you.
Yeah. Roch, you got to put your pants back on, buddy. This is a family event.
I'm sorry, I am numb from the shaft down to the tip. I do not feel when the drafts come and they sprinkle on my, can you see, not average Joe.
It's a pretty big one. Yeah.
I wish I could be president.
He also became more erratic, giving himself license to do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, without regard for anyone else, all because his tummy hurt.
Kissel's fucking excuse over here, too, huh?
I had too much Pizza Hut.
But perhaps most importantly, Roch's outlook on sex completely changed. See, at the beginning of his marriage, Roch insisted that his wife wear long dresses to hide her figure. After the surgery, he was demanding miniskirts and wanted to talk about nothing but sex. He took it even further by asking his in-laws if he could open a nudist colony on their farm, giving it the real hard sell.
No, listen, Aunt Carol, listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here. Oh, let me first put this away. I'm sorry. This is hanging out. This is honestly, it happens all the time. It's a slippery little devil. He always wants to make an appearance. He's like Martin Short.
Yeah, it's not little. I'll tell you that. Nor is it short.
But here's this pitch. Aunt Carol, you're looking very feminine today.
Thank you. I had a lot of Pizza Hut last night.
What if I invited the bunch of naked just people here? Yeah, that's it. We play cornhole.
Yeah?
Both personal cornhole and the game.
You want to do that on the farm, huh?
We get a flagpole. We get a hot tube. Come on. Don't you want a naked stranger to be on your couch?
Deep dish pizza, you can actually eat it backwards.
And Carol, this is an incredible invention. The pizza is completely reversed.
I mean, his offer was immediately rejected.
Of course, I would hope so.
And he took the rejection personally because he's a fucking narcissist. It's not that they didn't want nude people on their farm. It's that they didn't want him to invite nude people onto the farm. Like, they didn't trust him enough to do it right.
There is no other way to take that other than personally. She rejected him physically in every sense of the word, spiritually as well. So it is kind of a personal assault.
It's his mother-in-law.
I know, man.
You tell me, so you don't want me naked in your front lawn. You don't want your best friend naked all of a sudden in your front lawn.
It's hard. Nudists are actually very polite.
Yes, they're very nice.
But you got to put plastic down.
Yeah, nah. Now, Roch was obviously blossoming into a full-blown narcissist. And as we all know, there's one career path apart from cult leader that is tailor-made for this sort of personality, although one can definitely manage to combine the two. Needing even more attention, Roch joined a citizens committee and tried his hand at politics.
Oh, what a surprise.
It's a great name for a campaign sign. Vote Roch? Why not?
Yeah, Roch. Rock the vote. Literally rock the vote.
It fits on a sign. It's a great name. I think it could work.
By carrying around a copy of the municipal code that he'd memorized anyway, Roch had a weapon to pull out for use in an argument at any time.
Oh my God, beat this guy with a hammer already.
But of all of the cult leaders, I would say he's really like a serial killer that, a lot of times if they get into, trying to dress up as a cop or
BTK,
get into security.
He was the one who'd be like, your grass is a little...
yes, like these little hits of power. This was his attempt to get quote-unquote legit power. Yeah. Because he thought that he's a genius. He just thinks that and it's all because of the size of his penis. Then it's not fair. The rest of us have to learn skills.
I think it's really nice that I'm happy you don't have a huge penis, because I don't know what you would become, Mr. Zabrowski.
I'd be a senator.
Not surprisingly, Roch was fucking terrible at politics. He only put forth grandiose infrastructure plans that would have bankrupted Thetford Mines. And when he just stopped coming to meetings... In 1976, the council voted him out.
That's the thing. When I ran for Drama Club president, I won on sheer power of personality alone, but then I also understood that I didn't want to do any of the paperwork. So my vice president was actually a very capable girl, and I just gave her kind of all the work, and then I showed up at the meetings and I had a lot of fun and stuff like that. But when it came down to the actual jurisprudence, when it came down to the actual run and that was for somebody else, because it comes down, I'm an idea man.
Yeah.
I'm broad strokes guy.
And what ideas did you bring to the drama club that they couldn't have done without?
Personality. What we need to do here is, guys, you know what we got to do? Move upwards, integrity, strength.
Right.
Also, I got the talent show to be twice a year.
That's not bad. That's actually a good thing for you to do. But you got to help out with the bake sales and stuff.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just eating all the fucking cakes.
You got to see that the food is good.
Oh, were these muffins? Were these cupcakes for the people to buy?
I was selling.
Still looking for a place to wield power, Roch joined the Aramis Club, which is sort of a French-Canadian version of the Shriners, which is itself a more innocent and fun-loving Freemasonry spinoff.
That's why I don't trust it. I don't need the fucking Freemason Kids Club.
Yeah, I just feel like as a politician, the one thing he could have done is like, let's get rid of all the asbestos.
That's what the
Well, it
town
was
ran
an
on, man.
asbestos. That was the whole reason why the town was there. The town was there to bring asbestos out of the ground.
Can't you just start mining different things?
Their business was cancer, Kissel.
Oh,
If they
okay.
stop the cancer, they stop the business.
So maybe I wouldn't get elected there either.
It's surprisingly American for a Canadian town.
Yeah.
Well, from what I found, I did a little bit of looking into Thetford mines and found that what they're most known for, especially after the asbestos ran out, it's the most Canadian fucking thing. They got a bunch of hockey players and they're really good at maple syrup.
Awesome.
Holy shit.
Love it.
That's racist.
It's not. It's true.
No, I'm just saying. That town is...
I
that town
got
is
that-
racist for Canada.
Their whole Wikipedia page was nothing but hockey and syrup.
I love it. All right.
But even with what little power the Aramis Club had to offer, and even though they were a Catholic organization, Roch joined anyway. Soon he became obsessed and gained control over the initiation ceremonies, which ushered in all the new members. Once in charge, Roch changed the long-standing rituals to reflect his own hatred of the Catholic Church.
Nice.
One day, he showed up wearing a cape emblazoned with the face of the devil and insisted that all the other members follow his lead.
He's not wrong.
What is going on here?
This is one of his best moves.
Yeah, if he wants to be Gene Simmons, a cosplay Gene Simmons.
You're not making me like him less in that sentence.
According to what a fellow Aramis Club member said later, though, the rest of the Aramis Club members were just a bunch of average Catholic Canadians, and try as they might, they couldn't adhere to Roch's wackier ideas.
They didn't catch the wave.
He's got to
That's what I
sell
would
it
say.
better. He's
You
got to
gotta
sell it.
That's the truth. That's his fault. But of course, he blamed the audience.
Yeah.
a mistake.
Eventually, Roch just dropped out of everything. He stopped taking his painkillers for, his stomach problems, but he just replaced that with heavy drinking.
Oh.
Yeah, and he also started writing bad checks all over town while telling everyone how much money he had.
Well, the idea is that you fake it till you make it. And he knew that. And sometimes you
There's
got to write
18
5 bad checks. And
Yeah.
you got to write maybe
But
10 bad checks.
everyone works at the same asbestos mine. I'm sure they know exactly how much money he has because they have the same amount.
I mean, he had less money than them because they actually worked at the mine. He did nothing. He tried to sell capes, and it didn't work.
Well, Roch was, like most cult leaders, a complete and total failure at being a normal person. But it wouldn't be long before Roch found his niche as a leader of mostly women. His first disciple, as it were, was Giselle Tremblay.
I would say one of the, I'm not unique to this cult, but just especially for this cult, the members of the Ant Hill Kids were of a specifically vulnerable group.
Yes.
Like, they are very vulnerable people that got pulled in. A lot of these people had histories of abuse. A lot of these people were that's where his cultivation, quote unquote, you use that word, him making this cult was very specific. Like, he knew what he was looking for almost instinctually.
A lot of cult leaders do look for vulnerable people because that is why a lot of people join cults, because something is missing in their lives and they think that this person can give them, what's missing. It's a shortcut.
I have never been approached to join a cult, and I guess it's just because I'm intimidating.
Well,
and I feel really sad about that. Why can't I get a flyer? I want to know what peace and harmony feels like.
You don't wade in those waters. Have you ever been to a stretching class in the valley?
No.
Have you ever been to a vegan restaurant out in the middle of Tarzana? No, because if you go to these places and isolate yourself to a place where they serve only beans, you would really be surprised what you end up agreeing to.
All right.
Now, Giselle Tremblay grew up in a tumultuous household with a cold, authoritarian father and an angry, abusive mother. Her father would take her aside and talk shit on his marriage, telling Giselle that when she grew up, she'd do best to obey and follow her husband at any cost, unlike her mother.
So he basically pulled her aside and just did Bill Engvall bits at her. But I mean, like, his wife, like at her, and then she absorbed all of that. And then Bill Engvall became her personality.
Oh, that is troubling.
Well, Giselle listened. According to her, she spent her entire childhood preparing herself to be the most devoted, loyal, and loving wife a man could have. Predictably, though, this blind devotion resulted in a string of awful relationships.
Yeah, if men were good, this is really nice. But
They're not, though.
no. So
Her first serious relationship was with a boozer named Robert. And boozer, by the way, that's the term that the Canadian author of Savage Messiah uses again and again. Love saying boozer. Giselle tried
so
matching.
it is so Canadian.
It is.
He's just a boozer. It's like raging alcoholic with massive psychological issues.
Why
He's
do
a
you,
boozer.
Yeah, you make it sound like a name for a cartoon squirrel.
Yeah, it's like boozer, cool cartoon squirrel guy.
Giselle tried matching his drinking, but couldn't physically keep up and ended up in the hospital with burned intestines from ingesting too much liquor.
Wow, she was the Bo Jackson of alcoholism.
Was she hurt herself by doing it so
Her
well?
mouth was too fast for her liver.
Yeah. That's a good sports reference.
Thank you.
That is actually pretty good. Yeah.
Because he hurt himself. No one touched him.
You realize
He
it's
literally
the
hurt
only
himself.
other one that I know. I know Bo Jackson, Bobby Bonilla, the best baseball player that's ever been, that ever
Because
existed.
of the contract that he got.
Yeah, of course, smartest baseball player ever. Usain Bolt, he's fast.
Yeah, that's 3.
Wayne Gretzky.
That's 4.
One
Peyton
football
Manning.
player.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning works. That checks out. Look
And
at
Robin Williams, improv
well-
sports.
All right, we'll count it just because he's passed on.
Well, in 1972, Robert and Giselle moved to Montreal, where Robert got into bank robbing and counterfeit currency.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
She
what's your
eventually-
husband up to now? Well, wouldn't you believe it? He's doing bank robbing, and he's kind of doing some counterfeit currency. Isn't that kind of fun?
Actually, that does sound. Emily, she's into an industry. Want some gravy? We have gravy.
You know, Herbert's working over at the new mill.
Yeah, he's making bullets.
Yeah.
It's right next to the asbestos factory.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and then there's the blood factory that
Right.
just turns animals into blood.
Yes. So the counterfeit game's going pretty good for him.
Well, Giselle eventually had enough with Robert and left him, and Robert was later gunned down in the mean streets of Montreal.
Damn.
Jeez.
Soon, Giselle and her sister got an apartment together, and Giselle started dating a nice man named Dave.
They're always named Dave.
Yeah. But one night, Giselle and her sister happened to be drinking in the ballroom at the local Holiday Inn. And who should be there selling homemade beer mugs but Roch Thériault?
Oh my God! It all comes together.
The power and the illustrious world of merch.
Wow.
Now, Giselle and Dave had been discussing marriage when Giselle met Roch, but Roch quickly pushed his way into her life despite still being married himself. He wrote her sappy love letters and whined that she was hurting him by sleeping with another man. One night, she finally let him stay over for the evening. When she finally asked him if he was married, he burst into tears and told her yes, but it wasn't his fault because his wife was sleeping with other men. And also, I got cancer.
I got cancer.
Yeah.
You see that?
Wow. Yeah, you do. It's all the asbestos.
Take a look at the cancer on my foot. I've got 10 cancers.
That's I can see your cock when I look at your foot.
Oh, I slipped out. I have
Yeah,
to
it
put this
slipped
back.
out.
And
That thing
honestly, I am just so. While it is hard, it is numb.
Yes, indeed. All purpley strange.
Somehow, this story ensnared Giselle, and she quit her job at a department store to spend the summer with Roch selling homemade beer mugs at local fairs while her unemployment check picked up the tab.
And I don't blame her for selling merch for a living. I know for a fact that how many wayward people end up just selling merch for Van Halen, and the next thing you know,
Sure, why not?
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're back there hanging out with Dave and Sammy, and you gotta go and you gotta help them get there. You gotta get because they only eat mahi-mahi.
Of course. Well, you have to stay in shape in that rock and roll lifestyle. I feel bad for her ex-boyfriend, Dave, who's just at the bar. He can't even look at a mug anymore. He lost everything to a freaking
To a mug
canister
salesman.
to a mug. What? So he must have been a big shot. He sells mugs.
During their travels, though, Roch became a bit of a comedian, staging bits and skits in public using regular people to satisfy his own need for attention.
He sounds like the first millionaire from that Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire? Can You Marry a Millionaire show? Remember that when the big reveal was he was that hacky ass comedian? It was like from 1998.
Oh, it was Joe Millionaire, I think.
Joe,
No, Joe Millionaire, he was a construction worker.
Yeah, no, it was like marry a millionaire, but then it turned out he wasn't even a millionaire. He's a failed comedian. Anyway, what I'm saying is Roch sounds like he very overbearing.
He started as a comedian and technically moved up from being unemployed boozer to being a mug salesman. So technically he's on his way up. And as comedians, we've all done jobs that are, you know how many people have done, like, I wish I sold mugs back in the day.
Well, you did have beef jerky eaten off of your own body on camera as a punishment.
I was an actor.
Well, when Roch and some of his new friends went to a strip club in a town called Dulbo, Roch collaborated with a dancer for a bit. He paid her good money to hang sliced strawberries from her nipples. And when she came on stage, Roch jumped from the audience and nibbled the strawberries off while the crowd roared with approval.
Hey, look at the rabbit!
Yeah, but you understand.
Completely unaware that the whole thing had been a setup.
But that's kind of important, right? It's weird how that's just a bit, right? That's him technically at his best, right? Roch Thériault.
The strawberry nipple bit.
Strawberry nipple bit is a lot of fun. You know, the boys all like it, but you'll see that it kind of sets a weird pattern for he controls the entire situation and no one knows, where he has set up it's supposed to act like this magical thing, which is kind of like HPB, where it's the same shit, where it's the con man thing to show like, every single time I do something that you might think is magic, you get deeper in to a con that you don't even know that you're at the fucking very beginning of.
I think you're reading quite a bit into this horny man eating strawberries off a stripper's nipples.
This is all I do all day.
Yeah.
Another time, Roch collaborated with the manager of a fancy restaurant. He wandered into a steakhouse pretending to be drunk. Don't know if he was pretending or if he really was.
The only way to enter a steakhouse is to wander into a steakhouse.
Oh,
that is true.
No, you have to go with your hands on your hips going, I just got to check out what this establishment is. Big knives.
Well, he was dressed as a homeless guy, and he walked up to a patron's table and just grabbed the steak with his hand and stuffed it into his pocket. And when he got a little pushback, the manager rushed out and said, no, it's all just a prank, everybody. Calm down. And then, of course, the dinner was on the house.
That is just such a fucking Canadian bullshit prank. Can you imagine sitting there? The fury.
I would rather be pranked by O.J. Simpson in the show Juiced.
The fury that I would feel if I was sitting with my steak meal and I'm sitting there, I'm so excited, all of a sudden this big, stinky, huge dick homeless man walks in, takes the meat off my plate, because first you're like, ah! Everybody's just screaming and shit, but this big haggard, like fucking woodsman is in front of you, and then have the manager go, ha ha ha, got you, you fucking stupid customer. I took your money and I pranked you. Look how funny it is. And meanwhile, he's just fucking this steak with his huge ass dick. They're all laughing and shit.
Yeah, because then you have to wait for another fucking steak to come.
Well, steaks don't take that long.
But you know what's weird is that when I was researching the sadistic personality disorder, you know what's one of the big things that come up is extreme pranks. Extreme pranks are a mark of the sadist because they don't know, they literally can't discern joy. They don't know what's funny.
Well, absolutely. You look at what happened with Ashton Kutcher when he stole Frankie Muniz's car.
I remember that.
Frankie Muniz was really upset.
Well,
remember
he's
that
a little
punked?
bitch.
No, someone stole his car.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Dude, honestly, if you got punked, you would be like Chris Farley in that sketch where he finds out the coffee is not caffeinated.
Hell.
Like, you would be the worst.
Yeah, of course.
But even through the shenanigans, or perhaps because of them, Giselle was sold on Roch Thériault.
Wow.
I don't get it, but love is a strange beast.
Here's a hint. It's the dick.
Oh, I see. Not the steak in his pocket?
I don't know, because the bits
Is that
don't
a steak
sound that great.
Is that a steak in your pocket, or you just happen to see me?
No, you
It's
can
a-
obviously
it's a
tell.
steak.
The reason why you can tell it's a steak because it involves the grease.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But also I am leaking.
Yeah.
Eventually, Roch abandoned his first wife and Giselle moved in with him at Thetford Mines. Now, things went okay at first, but Roch soon became obsessed with religion, reading the Bible voraciously while denouncing the Catholic Church.
This is like very confusing to me how he grew up super religious. Usually, wouldn't the rebellion lead him away?
Well, I think that there is a little bit of he understood that what a great place for a person with no skills to climb up a hierarchy pretty easily. Because in the church, all you have to be is the person who believes in the fake man in the sky harder than anybody else.
Yeah,
you
Saint Benedict was a Nazi, and he just said, sorry.
Yep.
And they were like, now you're the Pope.
One night, though, Roch announced that he discovered a more honest and pure source of spirituality in the Old Testament, and that source just happened to have a lot to do with the role of women and their submissiveness towards men.
It's just so weird. I was just combing through with my fingers. My finger just stopped right here on
just
this.
my
It's
fingers
just
did
like
the walking.
right here on this part about how you are supposed to do everything that I want. Isn't that weird?
And there's so many paragraphs that say that again and again, and I just my fingers. They find them.
Wow.
In reading these passages and studying them, he'd point them out to Giselle and say, quote,
See, Giselle, that's good. I want you to think about that. Huh? Just put the seed in your brain. Imagine your brain is dirt. Your brain is dirt.
Okay.
Put the seed inside of the dirt. Hey, it grows into a thing that sucks dick, huh?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, my husband, because most of the stories that are in the Bible involve child rape.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea as well.
That's horrible. Yeah. So I just don't know if we need to be taking that so literally. All the stories actually they don't really fit with a cosmic.
Hey, just putting it in my tool belt. I'm a real tool man, Tim Taylor.
Now, at this point in time, Roch Thériault had no church of his own, which is a somewhat difficult place for a cult leader to start if they have no money, no social clout, and no connections.
Oh, yeah.
Because, L. Ron Hubbard, he was able to create his own cult from the ground up because he had a reputation as a science fiction author. Yeah. And Charles Manson gathered his followers with a charismatic blend of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Branding.
Buggies. Yeah.
Branding is really important. I know that it's like a jokey answer, but you have to have like a perspective. What are you bringing to the table? What is you're the cult leader, right? You have to have something special. There's got to be a hook.
Well, there's got to be an answer. What's your answer? What's your answer to the question that everyone... What is your answer to the question, why are we here?
Yeah, why?
Mugs.
Yeah, but I mean, it started... But it shows how the answer can start with mugs.
Mugs.
But you know where it ends? Castration.
Damn it.
Don't get too deep into mugs.
Hate it.
But for most American cults, the leader needs a jumping off point. Yes. And 99 times out of 100, that point is plain old Christianity. Heaven's Gate was Christian. Jim Jones's People's Temple. Of course, People's Temple was Christian. Even Joseph Smith, arguably the most successful cult leader of all time, wrote the Book of Mormon as a sequel to the New Testament.
Right.
And he's getting Whoopi Goldberg back for that, which was huge for that sequel. And they, it's kind of crazy because these other cults are, you kind of see how certain things kind of work differently, where like Heaven's Gate was a passive cult where it accrued members and then they closed the gates. Jim Jones was a very reputable member of society. So he actually started getting people immediately because they believed in him, because he actually was a very powerful and able politician. Yeah. But somebody like Roch Thériault is that if all you have is a huge dick, you got to build a base.
It brought Rasputin all the way to the top.
I know, but he understood magic. He also he did karate all over Russia.
Rasputin.
Well, there's one particular sect of Christianity that actually produced two high-profile 20th century cults. One was Roch Thériault's future cult, which, some call the Anthill Kids. We'll get into all that in the next episode.
Okay.
The other, perhaps the most famous cult of the 90s, was the Branch Davidians, led by none other than David Koresh. And the source for both was the Seventh-day Adventists. Now, there are a couple of reasons why the Seventh-day Adventists are so ready-made for cult offshoots. The main reason being that they themselves were an offshoot of a cult. The church that became the Seventh-day Adventists was founded in the early 1800s by William Miller in New York, right around the same time and place that Joseph Smith was kickstarting Mormonism. Through a bizarre interpretation of the Book of Revelation, Miller proclaimed that the world was going to end on October 22nd, 1844, and his followers, known as the Millerites, believed him without question. But when the day of reckoning in question passed without so much as a cloud in the sky, the church kind of tried to sidle past it, rebranding the judgment day that never was as the Great Disappointment.
Sad.
Oh my God, am I talking to my father? What's going on? You have got to make the date. You got to do it at least 100 years in the future so everyone's dead.
That's the idea.
You
And the
have
idea
to
is
do
that
it
you
like
build and build and build and build and say, and until then, that's why we have to start our video rental empire.
Absolutely.
Now, most people left the cult after that, because plenty of them were mighty pissed they'd sold all their possessions, dressed in robes, and spent all of October 22nd sitting on haystacks so as to make their ascension to heaven that much faster.
October 22nd is by far and large the day with the best weather in the country. And I wasted this whole thing expecting to be exploded by God. I have hay all over my robes.
Why are they mad? Shouldn't they be happy?
No, because
No.
again, they want to go to heaven.
Yeah, but
I mean, all doomsday cults are like that. It's miserable people that want to get off Earth as soon as possible, and they really don't mind if the rest of Earth is destroyed in the process.
you've got to do it like everyone here. Become a billionaire, and you can get off of this Earth.
Yeah, you get one of those big spaceships and you leave. It's gonna
Yeah,
be. You'll see.
absolutely.
Wait till we see the first one leave.
I can't
Can you imagine
wait.
when you see that first city-sized, like you didn't know that we had them style ships just like leave with the big Amazon thing on the side of it, and you're like, oh man, the deliveries are gonna get slower, huh?
I guess so.
But a handful of followers stayed with the Millerites, including a follower named Ellen White. Soon after the Great Disappointment, she said she had a vision that Christ hadn't materialized because in his wisdom, he had chosen to cleanse the heavenly sanctuary rather than the earthly one.
So
Hold on a second.
Jesus couldn't be there for the end times because Jesus had to do the thing where you ever clean your house before you have some over to clean your house or someone to work on your house. He had to pre-clean. So
Right.
actually during this time, Jesus couldn't come because he was Swiffering in heaven.
But he's also, as soon as you show up, he's also going to be like, I'm sorry for the mess. It's like, we know you just spent 8 hours cleaning,
And we all
you
have
just
to
have to be like,
step
no,
on,
this is really
it's so
nice.
beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about, Jesus.
Wow.
Meanwhile, everything's still covered with sand because he's got these shit-ass fucking dirty feet.
I don't know what's happening up there.
Well, in saying this, White was able to have it both ways. And after a suitable amount of moonwalking away from William Miller, she helped found the Seventh-day Adventist Church from the ashes of the Millerites.
Okay.
Eventually, Ellen White wrote 53 books full of cult nonsense, making declarations that wigs caused insanity and that masturbation killed tens of thousands of people every year.
Well, technically, tens of thousands of people every year just don't get made.
Yeah.
Well, but there's
Because if they
that's a
didn't
massive
exist-
process.
But the thing is, if they didn't exist, does that kill them?
No, because a sperm is just, you want to do this? You want to do this? You want me to talk to you about the birds and the bees?
Each sperm's a man.
Yes.
Each sperm's a lady. Each sperm's a president. Each sperm's a criminal.
Put little hats on them.
But mixed in with all that were directives on how her followers should live their lives, which brings us to point number 2. The Seventh-day Adventists are essentialists who preach a simple, healthy, back-to-basics life, which requires an enormous amount of restriction. And as we know, any religious sect that focuses on control is going to be a prime breeding ground for a cult.
This is why I am truly scared of Moby. He's a minimalist.
I don't like minimalists. They scare me.
There's something about it that's very scary.
They scare me. If you don't need anything, come on.
You do need something.
You're gonna have some shoes.
He needs his fucking tea empire. Remember when he had that fucking tea shop
I do.
in Lower East Side?
I do remember his tea empire, which is like the
I didn't know that.
the low key most annoying capitalist move. Oh, we're taking over tea. The UK has tea done.
And he called it
we barely
Teeny as
drink
well.
tea
It's the
here.
worst fucking
I
name
hate
for a
that
tea.
place. I hate that place.
I never heard of that.
I'm filled with rage about that place.
That is upsetting. Yeah, I wouldn't. They should have sold him that building.
But you already have the legitimacy of the Christian church, right? So if you have a high control group that is already embedded within the quote unquote legitimate Christian church, it's a little bit easier to make that a jumping point off for a cult, especially because you already have to believe, because they believe that the Bible, like they had an actual, like the creation is real, that it's word for word real in the Bible. They believe in, the kind of the aesthetic life where you're supposed to not want physical goods. You're supposed to live away from like modern corrupt society. You're supposed to pull back. So you kind of already start all the little culty flavors that you need.
Yeah, and they stay kosher. They have like a very you can't drink, you can't smoke. Like it's more of it's like a disciplinarian, like a discipline type of thing. Not disciplinarian, but like it is a discipline for living.
But you can go into great detail about how Cain and Abel used to have sex with each other.
Oh yeah, and you can talk
about that for
how
a while.
sinful it was of those two
naughty.
ruddy farm boys, pressed chest to chest, brother to brother, still experimenting with their filial limbs.
Gosh,
each
stop.
one
Go
licking
on.
each
Stop
curve.
it. Just continue on with that.
Now, by the time Roch Thériault came into contact with the Adventists, the Branch Davidians had already splintered off decades before because they said Jesus wouldn't return until a purer church had been established.
Holy shit, how many people are cleaning this fucking church?
It's got to be clean. It better be.
As it was, the Adventists' main beliefs centered around celebrating Saturday as the Sabbath and adherence to certain principles in order for God to judge them worthy of immortality in heaven. And in a way, I actually admire sects like this more than most because I've never quite respected the idea that all one had to do to get into heaven was to accept Jesus into his heart.
And this
that
is why
means
you liked
Dahmer's in
Gate.
heaven.
That's why you liked Heaven's Gate.
And Dahmer is in heaven. He's cooking right now. He's having a great
Oh
time.
yeah, you just gotta say I'm sorry right before you go.
That's it. That's how it works.
But being an evangelical religion, the Adventists were big on recruitment. And in the 1970s, the number one recruiter in Quebec was George Hermans. In 1977, he made his way to Thetford Mines and immediately saw Roch Thériault as a potential member. Now, Roch dug the message of the coming judgment day more than anything, specifically the part where humanity would be divided into the blessed and the damned, which that's kind of how a narcissist brain works anyway.
Yes,
Sure.
You're either chosen and love him, or you're unchosen and you are an enemy.
Yeah, and it can switch at the drop of a hat.
Right.
In addition to that, Roch also loved that Seventh-day Adventism was so wildly different from his father's Catholicism. And Roch liked that when Judgment Day came, his father and all his white beret buddies would be swept away with the rest of the damned billions.
I mean, it's not that wildly different, is it? It's still predicated on the exact same law. It's still a Abrahamic thought, right?
Catholicism does not have the specific end date. Like they kind of allude to
They
it,
need
they really
to get
don't.
that money.
Well, it's because Catholicism, they're too busy,
Getting all your cash.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they want your catch. But there's not all the pomp and circumstance of Catholicism. There's not the Latin. There's not as many rituals. Like it's a much more of a
the fun part. All of the pagan shit that the Catholics do is the only part of Catholicism that's good. Is all that fun shit, like all the weird, like the substantiation, like the idea that like they are drinking blood, they are eating flesh. It's very intense.
I did it one time. And I'm telling you, it's not flesh. It was a horrible little cracker.
They're wafers.
Yeah, they're wafers.
So after Thetford Mines established themselves as a place where a Seventh-day Adventist community could put down roots, the church sent out a French West Indian pastor named Pierre Zida. But that's not to say the community at large embraced the church. Only 6 people, including Roch, were into the idea. So Pastor Zida had to perform his services week after week in whatever hotel rooms could be rented the cheapest.
It's not good when your full congregation can still meet up during COVID.
Yeah. You need more than that for it to be a
6
congregation.
people? Yeah,
I would not even call it a congregation. I would call it a gaggle.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, Roch was known as Brother Thériault, and keeping in line with strict Seventh-day Adventist beliefs, he quit drinking and smoking and became a vegetarian. Because the thing is about Seventh-day Adventist beliefs is that it was founded in Battle Creek, Michigan, right around the time that Kellogg was doing all of his bullshit. So the founder actually stole a lot of her teachings from John Kellogg, including all of like the masturbation stuff.
Roch Thériault believed he was a rapist, a murderer, a torturer, and a psychopath. But most of all, and I think his best quality, because he was anti-smoking.
Yeah, that smoking kills.
He was deeply anti-smoking.
That is really interesting. So you kind of have this sort of CM Punk, this kind of like
Straight edge.
Yeah, straight edge aspect to it, which really makes the whole thing even somehow more annoying.
Oh, no.
Even though I have nothing wrong with that, I actually think that's very healthy. But
We'll see how it ends up.
all I know is also that Kellogg's. I watched the they used to have that shake machine that would just shake all your fat. I really wish that worked.
No, it just makes you looser.
Yeah, I love that they were just like shake it.
Shake him.
Considering Roch's charismatic personality, it was soon discovered that he was a natural at recruiting, and before long, Pastor Zita had given him a more active leadership role within the church.
Do you think if he looks back on his life that I wonder if he realized just what a profound mistake that was?
Pastor Zita, absolutely. Everyone in the Seventh-day Adventist Church really did come out and say, like, yeah, this was a really bad mistake to trust
Give
this
him
guy.
power. They gave him so much power immediately.
In the beginning, though, Roch just took this as an opportunity to talk about his personal financial problems and to complain about his heartless, sinful ex-wife. And he had not yet seen the potential power of a captive audience.
And to sell mugs.
I mean, the mugs were now at this point incidental.
Ooh, flying off the shelves.
Now
Is this
he wants
poltergeist?
He went from mugs to souls.
Eventually, Roch was given a job selling Seventh-day Adventist literature, and within weeks, he was the top salesman in the province. Because that's the thing, he was a good salesman, but I don't think he ever got because when you're running your own business, there's a lot of overhead. You got to figure out your materials versus profit. He wasn't good at all that.
No, he was not. He was again idea guy.
Yeah.
But
that would be why he is a great salesman.
You have to have there's certain, in sales, I think that you have to have a certain lack of scruples. I'm going to go say that wherever Roch Thériault went was a no scruples zone.
What are you talking about? Billy Mays died the classic organic pitchman death, ODing on cocaine.
Well, yeah, because he was
all right.
His style of salesmanship, which was called fervent enthusiasm,
I love
which I think is really interesting. Was supplied by cocaine.
Yeah, I know.
He did it for his job. He died because of his job.
By the way, you're on the clock, Flex Shield guy. He's got another week and a half left.
Well, Roch's girlfriend Giselle was soon baptized into the faith as well, and the two of them set out as a team spreading the word. Now, with all this success, Pastor Zita gave Roch even more responsibility and soon put him in charge of one of the church's local therapeutic programs, namely their 5-day guaranteed stop smoking course. What's fascinating about Roch Thériault, though, is that even though he seems to be a born cult leader, I'm not sure he would have ever started a cult had Pastor Zita not handed him an organization from which a cult could be built. Wow. Even though it was something as small as just a stop smoking course.
But all you need is that fucking hook. Like the Order of the Solar Temple. It starts with health food, and then it goes to home abortions. It's how it always is. It's literally every time you start a health
You're
food
telling me
store.
Carl's Jr. could have saved all of this.
All they needed was French fries.
Yeah.
I'm also not sure Roch would have started his cult had Pastor Zita not done a lot of the legwork for him, because there wasn't a soul who grew up with Roch in Thetford Mines who would have followed Roch anywhere.
And these are people who actively work in cancer.
Yes, they knew he was bad, and they were covered. They were covered essentially. I also love they had a specifically made a Chernobyl to work in.
Can we call? But isn't it ironic that they were like that? Smoking was bad, but then they were literally eating clouds of death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot wrong here.
Yeah.
Well, since Roch was doing so well in the church, Pastor Zita was able to do more recruiting in the surrounding communities. Eventually, Zita made his way north to Plessyville, and there, Pastor Zita converted 4 youngsters in their late teens and early 20s who would form the base of what would eventually become the Anthill Kids. Now, while it isn't true for every person who came under Roch's control, the most fervent members of his cult came from abusive backgrounds. It was certainly the case with Giselle, and it went double for follower Solange Boyard. Solange was raised by a hard-drinking spousal rapist named Raoul, who made a point to go off on verbally abusive drinking binges just before important holidays and events with a specific aim of ruining everything for everyone.
It's really very scary, and it's one of those things. The idea of like making everything bad, she did not have a very happy childhood in any way, shape, or form.
No. But even though Solange was the most outspoken and skeptical of those first 4 members, she would become one of Roch Thériault's most ardent followers, and her devotion would prove fatal. Now, Roch captivated all 4 new converts almost immediately, passionately discussing Judgment Day and the sins of the secular world. To these kids, Roch was the most confident person they'd ever met, funnier and more entertaining than anyone they'd ever known.
Wow, I can't believe he was the coolest guy ever in Plessyville.
He is the funniest guy in Plessyville.
Plessyville, wow.
Using the principles of Seventh-day Adventism, Roch told them how to eat right, free themselves from hate, and bring God into their daily lives.
Boring. Boo.
Well, the way he stopped you from smoking is that you went on a broth binge.
Yeah.
And that was it.
What?
Yep, and you just didn't smoke.
It's a broth binge, and they also pumped you full of vitamins, and they also gave you a lot of like B12 supplements because
Marcus, you idiot! You've been trying to quit smoking for 20 years. Didn't you try broth?
Yeah, where's your broth?
Yeah, go get some broth.
Yeah, you nicotine-addled.
What is wrong?
Homunculus.
You didn't even try broth.
Start some fucking broth.
You know what? I'm happy to say I've been off any sort of smoking, including vape, since about April, and I figure I've got at least 2 more years on the lozenges, and that way it's only going to take me about 8 years to quit smoking.
Look at that. You are John Candy. You are Uncle Buck. You are your 5-year plan.
Have you ever thought about trying to just put a lemon in your asshole to see how far you can stretch it?
That's a different kind of broth.
Also, we learned that two balls in a butthole are also called dogs in a bathtub.
They are not. It is not called that.
It is absolutely called. You guys don't know about dogs in a bathtub?
No, I don't want to think about it.
It's better than smoking.
That is true.
Well, Roch, with these 4 new converts, he also planted the seed that all of them could and probably should drop out of mainstream society.
It sounds like a simple thing.
So you want me to stop doing anything fun, eat a bunch of broth, and drop out of society?
Yeah, pandemic.
Well, think about it this way. I mean, like these aren't city kids. He's not going to Montreal or Toronto to make these pitches. Like these are already kids who are on the verge of dropping out of society.
Yeah,
these are small French Canadian mining towns.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as what Roch was getting out of all this, he was getting attention. And attention is the lifeblood of a narcissist.
There was one doctor, Dr. Grande, who does all these talks about narcissism. It's the 3 S's. It's supply, sex, and services. That's what they're looking for. And when you're done, when you don't give any of that shit, narcissist supply.
No, I know. I think it's ironic that this guy is doing a PowerPoint presentation on YouTube with fun little bullet points.
You got to.
Maybe he's the narcissist.
That's what we do.
Well, suddenly, Roch was getting more attention than he ever imagined possible, and it was intoxicating. Within weeks, all 4 of these kids had gone from new converts to Seventh-day Adventism to moving in with Roch and Giselle at Thetford Mines. Also, their new Christian guru could teach and entertain them day in, day out.
What a nightmare this guy is. He's got 4 kids from Plessyville living with him now.
Oh, he just invited them over,
too. This is what he wanted?
Giselle had no clue what was going on. All of a sudden, all of these people just start showing up at his house, and he keeps coming. Every time he shows up with new people, he's like, "Be happy, Giselle. This is what
Why
God
am I happy?
wants from us.
They're taking over all of our food. They're eating all the broth.
Change your way you say it. You say it all angry. And they're eating only the food. They're drinking only the broth. You say, oh, how is it? They are drinking all of our broth.
All we have is mugs.
Exclamation points. The difference between a mean and a nice email.
Now, this didn't go down too well with the parents of some of the new converts, but Roch tried convincing them he was trustworthy. One of the teenagers that had concerned parents was a girl named Chantal Labrie. Chantal had come down with mono a few years before and had since become obsessed with vitamin supplements and health food. She was shy, introverted, and impressionable, which naturally made her parents skeptical of Roch's intentions. When he showed up at Chantal's house, Roch only made things worse, telling her parents that they had nothing to worry about because he'd seen and done everything in life except murder.
Why is that comforting?
Jeez, I don't
Why
know.
was that supposed to be a fun thing to say to a parent? Why do you think that's going to convince them towards the other side?
I also just see him pulling up in some cliche Corvette, getting out of his car, kicking a bunch of mugs on the way out. And mugs are everywhere.
Ding, 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 ding. But yes, it's like, you can't believe what you see in the mug business. Sodomy.
Oh, yeah.
You see the smoking. The smoking in the mug business makes a man sick. All of the gaping. I have seen
gaping.
so many people. Because I tell you what, have you ever fit a family's worth of mugs inside of yourself and called yourself a cupboard?
I have not played Human Cupboard, no.
Roch then sat them down and told them all about his beliefs. But when they asked him questions he couldn't answer, he'd kneel on the floor, chant, and go into a trance.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Power move. Nevertheless,
Is it a power move? This is where I punch you. This
Next
is where the
time.
dad needs to punt him in the head.
Next time we're in a pitch, I'm making that move. If they say a question, because in the end you're supposed to leave it, the pitch, you're supposed to leave it open for questions, and are they always so curious?
Oh,
they
man, they
never
love
are.
us. They love our
They never
pitches,
care.
yeah.
But if they do ever ask me a question that I don't have the answer for, I'll just go. And then you have to all be like, channel me. You have to remember to channel me.
Oh, what is that? Oh, first poop of the day. Classic. Ben Kissel, Marcus Henry, pitch for TNT.
Starter logs.
Starter logs. Yeah, that's what I call first poop of the day. And then Henry said the guy looked like Ted Bundy.
I weeded out producers that would not have brought the best out of us.
They were so scared. I think they called security by the time we were out of there just to make sure we would leave.
And the second time we failed in a pitch with TVS, didn't you also make another poop joke?
Well, I told them about the first joke.
Yeah, because then we were like, it went so bad the first time, but then we got to
Silence.
recreate
And then
it.
in what I thought was a very funny version of the story, silence, absolute silence.
Yeah, well, they're all.
That channel's going to be over, so
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Work gears.
Well, even after all the trance bullshit, Chantal stuck with them after the disastrous visit. Because Chantal was ready-made for this type of bullshit. She loved health food. She was interested in vitamin supplements. She was very impressionable. Roch was her guy. Those first four were joined by Nicole Ruel, a high school dropout who was invited to a stop smoking clinic by Roch. And within days, she was living at Giselle's apartment with the rest of them.
I just don't understand. Didn't high school dropouts invent smoking?
That's why they want to stop smoking.
Well, you kind of have to still be in school to smoke behind the school.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden you get that cool guy who's like 40 who shows up and he's got like a house or whatever going to party at, and he's so cool and mature and he's
So
hanging out
cool.
with all these 17-year-olds.
Yeah, that's why he's so cool and mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, who buys the cigarettes? He does.
That
Cool
guy.
guys.
Cool
Yeah, just because
guys.
of age and how that kind of works naturally, and he didn't do anything to get there, but you just kind of don't die.
He's got the best beer ever made. It's called Rolling Rock.
Whoa, love it. You know what is sad, though, true talk, is that these people were trying to self-better themselves, I guess,
They were.
right? So,
Sure, yeah,
So
no.
they went in with good intention. It's not
That's the tragedy of
nefarious. Yeah, that's sad.
It's an interesting how it starts in a small way too, because they're coming, because what we were talking about at the very beginning of the episode, every cult leader has to have an answer to why. Like, why does it all exist? What is our purpose? And it starts with this first. You have to see if your congregant is willing to ask the question why. Or ask the question, can I be changed? And this is the first little thing of being like, they want to stop smoking.
Right.
I guess you're about to get a home abortion.
I know you are continuing with your home abortion conversation,
I don't want
which
it. I wish
I'm
it
sure
didn't.
will be brought up at some point again.
it didn't end up that way.
I wish as well.
Well, the next convert was Claude Olay, another high school dropout who met original convert Francine Laflamme at a disco. Francine was going on and on about Seventh-day Adventism and specifically about how great Roch was.
You can just hear those shoes clacking around, all heavy hitting the ground at that Plessyville disco.
Oh, and just like all the,
I brought my clogs.
you know that it's like in a strip mall, full fluorescent lights, everything is on.
Disco is fancy, maybe is a term.
Yes.
Pretty soon, Claude started hanging around too, and he joined the first male convert, Jacques Fisset. Now, Laflamme actually seemed to be a pretty solid recruiter. Before Roch knew it, she'd brought in her two best friends from high school, Maurice Lambert and Josie Pelletier, who became just as devoted as everyone else.
Man, they all got, I know these are regular ass names in France and in Quebec, but man, they sound fancy, huh?
They sound, yeah. Fucking Francine Laflamme,
That's cute.
Maurice
That's
Lambert.
Cool. Ooh, who are these guys? All these
They're
wine
just
salesmen?
names.
I know, but they all sound like mysterious sailors.
That is the most Queens Texan conversation I have ever heard. Now, where I'm from, we call him Rory McScorgilgan, and that's a normal name here in Texas. Texas has the strangest names of anybody.
Yeah, because this guy's named like Corbett and Rongard.
Normal names. Yeah.
And so, in less than 2 months, Roch Thériault had already built a following of 6 women and 2 men. And most of them were living full-time in Roch's apartment with Giselle, where things were getting sexy, but were not quite to the point of full penetration.
Not yet.
Oh, my. So, technically, these guys are Jim Carrey and Daniels from Dumb and Dumber when they got picked up by the Bikini Squad at the very end of that movie. Are the 2 dudes because, I mean, it seems like a good deal for them at this point.
Well, that's the
but
idea.
Then it probably turns bad, so I'm not going
I'm
not going to say anything more.
Now, Giselle was a little apprehensive about the whole thing, especially since Roch had put her in charge of all the housework, cooking, and cleaning up, while he and his followers were focused on spiritual growth and group massages.
Where in the Bible does it say that?
Group massages are incredibly important. It is in the book 3, chapter 4 of, I believe it's Stylistics. Stylistics?
Yeah.
That's what they call it. You know that story.
Oh,
but
love it, yeah.
Group massages are so important to, but look at this. Look
Get
how I'm
off of
massaging
me.
you.
Stop
See how
touching
important
me.
this is to the group. Marcus can't
Your
hear.
hand looks so tiny on my arm.
We're just trying
Get
to
out
build
of here.
it.
We're trying to build a community.
Let me show you
Giselle-
if I massage you below the knee, though.
We don't. Thank you.
I'm kind of sad that I'm missing out. I'm
No,
over here
you're
all
not.
alone.
It's
We're
not
building
good.
a group dynamic over here.
I know.
good.
I feel further away from you than ever.
I can't wait to massage your tofu body, man.
Get on over here.
It's starting to not become so much thin on the outside, honestly. It's starting to become a little bit more
Pandemic,
fine on the
pandemic
outside.
I hate when thin people are like, oh my God, look at us. Look, and it's like you have slightly protruded gut. You are the thinnest. Shut up, Marcus. You're doing just fine.
But when I gain like 5 pounds, you notice it. It looks
when
weird.
I'm going to teleport, and I am going to grab you by your ankles and kill you like Jason Voorhees did.
Kissel's shoes are 5 pounds.
I ate Pizza Hut and cried. No, I did not cry.
No, you got to smile. You're forming. It's the burps that make you smile.
Yeah. I get heartburn now from their marinara. Anyway, I don't
Jesus Christ, this is so sad.
Well, Giselle later said that she saw some of the girls falling in love with Roch right before her very eyes. And this is essential to this sort of cult. In a guru type of situation, the members must fall in love with both the leader and other members. It makes leaving all the more difficult and makes taking orders a hell of a lot easier.
There was a website I found that was fascinating. I'm going to talk about it more in the next episode, but it's InfoSect, and it talks about the way groups go from just a cult, because I like this website because it says that cult is a harsh sounding word, but cults are way more normal than you think because they're just offshoots. A cult is just an offshoot from like a main religious group, essentially. Like Catholicism started as a cult,
and the majority don't turn horrible.
Yes, the idea is there are malignant and benign cults, and then this is will turn into a malignant cult, but it's called socialization, which requires everybody exactly that. They have to fall in love with the scenario. You're creating a group relationship with everybody that, they get some out of it. It's that whatever the pheromone is.
Yeah. Now, the manipulations began almost immediately, particularly when it came to Giselle. When she expressed hesitations about the whole setup, Roch told her that if she truly loved God, she'd open her home to these people. And if she didn't open her home and do as he said, God would remember.
He's got the book. He writes it down. It is his journal, and it is filthy.
And so she agreed, and Roch continued collecting followers. Next was Gabrielle Lavalle, who grew up neglected and abused first by the nuns at her orphanage, then later by her alcoholic father, who seemed to reclaim her from the orphanage specifically to subject her to sexual abuse. Gabrielle had been wandering after she'd been fired from a nursing job for fatally giving a patient the wrong drug. And when she became a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, she was doing drugs and working as an exotic dancer to pay the bills.
Well, isn't that interesting? Usually you talk to an exotic dancer and they say they're going to school for medicine. But this woman already killed somebody in medicine.
And then
she's escaping it.
I mean, that'd be an interesting story, though. I'd like to hear that story from an exotic dancer. It'd be kind of fun there.
Nothing more fun than a good conversation.
Yeah, one time I talked to one, wouldn't you know it, she was becoming a lawyer.
That's incredible.
And she didn't kill anyone.
She didn't kill anybody.
This one, so you're getting your lap dance, having a wonderful time, and then she tells you how she murdered someone. This is what I'm paying for.
Well, this woman met Roch at a stop smoking retreat at Lake Rousseau a couple of years after joining the church. And she said that when she shook his hand for the first time, she felt a burning sensation that made her feel as if her hand was glued to his.
There's a burning in my rectum.
I remember that. Wow, deep cut. During the retreat, Roch impressed Gabrielle even more by doing the sort of goofy, nonsensical shit cult leaders do to make themselves seem mystical and important.
Yeah.
While they were hiking together in a group, Roch made a big show of going off the path while telling others not to follow him. He claimed that he'd had a vision in which the sky had turned bright white and God had spoken to him. And if everyone would kindly excuse him for a second, he had to go find a spot to kneel upon. And wherever he knelt, that would be a sacred spot ordained by God.
Oh, first of all, Rector Danier took her to Knott's Berry Farm. Second of all, this man is so he's doing the thing where it's like, look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Because he had to go have his secret vision. And so he goes to have his secret vision,
but he yelled about it.
Highly flamed. Yeah, nothing secret about it, but it was secret.
Yeah.
So he went and he was like, oh, I'm going to kneel. And then all of a sudden he's like, God's kingdom is right next to this Burger King cup. Yes, I found it.
Now, somehow, Gabrielle trusted Roch immediately. And after having a dream at the retreat involving Roch standing in a bright light wearing a tunic, she agreed to return to Thetford Mines to join Roch's growing entourage. Now, even though Roch was only in his early 30s, all of his followers were young, and some of them were about to return to college after what they thought was a fun summer with a burly guru. But Roch had already become addicted to the attention, and losing even one follower would have been highly distressing. So he began devising ways to isolate his followers, Cult 101. And once isolated, the torture and violence began. And that's where we'll pick back up for part 2 of Roch Thériault and the Ant Hill Kids.
And I know there's some of you that are like, I can't believe there was a whole episode where there wasn't any castrations.
We talked about it enough.
You're like, oh, I can't believe there's no castrations.
I don't know if anyone's.
Episode.
You think that people were looking for more castration?
I'm just wanting to.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you our solemn promise. There's going to be so many castrations.
I love that you're doing the Bill Clinton with your hand right now.
We're going to give you so many castrations and home surgery. Next episode, you're just going to be pleased as a pickle.
Just in time for the holiday season.
Also, it's great for Christmas.
It
is. Santa doing it.
Oh, isn't that nice? All right.
I like doing sad ones at Christmas.
Yeah, well, over Thanksgiving, I had someone, what did I talk about over Thanksgiving again? I think I spoke with a therapist who works with non-offending pedophiles. So we always have fun content here for the holiday season.
We really do. We know how to celebrate it right.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening. And we have some merch. Speaking of merch, we have some new mugs that are pretty cool. We got broth if you wanted to get some of that. We got that. But thank you.
I want to implore you to check out all of our other shows here on the network. Check out Page 7, Wizard and the Bruiser, No Dogs in Space. Check out Sidework Podcast. We've been doing really good work. It's a lot of fun. Fraudsters is hilarious. I've been listening to it quite a bit. Fraudsters really good. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but I think we did a pretty good job there.
Well, technically they're doing it, and we will take credit for it. So.
Yeah, that's the best part of it being executive producers.
And if you guys are looking for a last-minute Christmas gift for that special someone, we have some signed copies of our book that was released earlier this year. That's available at barnesandnoble.com.
Or
Also,
if you have an enemy that you know can't read, send them a book. You know how aggravating
torture
that is? You know how mean that is?
And we actually just found out our book might be on sale in Russia soon. So if you are a Russian listener,
In Russia, the book reads you.
that is what. This is why people listen. It's because some of the
is
humor
why you
here.
did it.
Why did you wait for the whole show to do the best
do
joke
that.
at the very end?
You ruined it.
That's
you
why
could've
people
said-
stay. That's why we have such good listener through rate. Listen through rate? No,
Gotta, you know, 'cause
let's
you don't
talk
wanna-
about listen through rate,
You
shall we?
don't want to miss a single joke.
Not one life-changing joke. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much, and we hope you're doing as well as you possibly can during these crazy times. And hang in there. We are going to get through this. It is happening. Changes will be on the horizon.
Literally, we are forced to get through it because that's how time works.
We're gonna do
and
it.
even though time is a construct that we're all part of it, but aging is not, and entropy is not.
Isn't
so we
that
are
good?
still experiencing aging and entropy, but technically time is not really real, but it is.
I don't like you on your broth diet. You changed, and I
I'm
don't like
agitated.
it. All right, everyone. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Again.
Magustalations, everyone.
Hail me, and I'll never make you castrate yourself. Not once.
Thank God.
Good.
I don't know why
I
culture
want
always
full bald.
honestly, full bowls. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.